Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm very glad to see everybody. I see we already have a few people in chat. I am Miss Willowitch. Hmm, is everybody excited and ready for some Phasmo today? I'm going to take that as a yes. So, a little bit about me. This is my first stream, so please, I might make a few mistakes, but I know everyone here is such a great community, and I can't wait to learn and grow. Uh, Please take a look around my profile. I've worked very hard on it, and if uh, there's anything I can add, you can always send me a whisper with a suggestion. I have been playing games all my life, of course, but I have been playing Phasmo for about a year now. I particularly like the game, and when I had this crazy idea a few weeks ago uh, to start streaming, Phasmo was my first choice. I would say, pretty decent at the game. I do know a lot of technical knowledge about it. My skills at it could use a little bit of work because I die a lot to ghosts when I'm trying to loop them. Before we get started on Phasmo, though, I do want to say thank you to so many new followers. I haven't even streamed before, and I already have so many followers. This is just some of the many followers that I have already. And again, like I said, I haven't even streamed yet. So thank you, all of my earlier followers. Um, there was just so many, including so many that came in last night, that if you do not see your name here on the screen, I will put you in the next stream. Thank you so much for following me already. All right, folks, shall we get started? There we go. Loaded on into the game. Perfect. So a little bit about my channel when it comes to Phasmo. My hope is to do some education for beginners, especially for this first part. Um, if you already know Phasmo, I encourage you to stick around. There might be a few things that you don't know, and I hope I can provide some useful and interesting tips for you. If this is your first time playing, this is a wonderful game. It's got a lot of depth to it. It's got a lot of interesting things to it. It does take a little bit to learn, and then it's entirely up to you what kind of experience you want to have. If you want to have like a really scary, immersed experience, you can go in, you can put your settings to kind of, a little difficult, have fun, have the ghost really chase you. But if you really want to get those badges and things like that, you also want to know how to, succeed. Okay. I think what we're going to do now is load into a game, and we're going to go over some more basics, just of how the game works, how your sanity works, how the lighting works, and how the ghost operates within the house. And then we're going to see if we can figure out the ghost before it murders me. We are going to load into Willow Street for obvious reasons. There we go. Welcome. We're all in here now. So this is the first place you will load into whenever you get into a game. You will want to grab this key. It is how you get into the house, and then you'll want to open up the truck. I love that sound. That first moment where you know you're about to get into a fun game. Ooh, and we've got snow. Wonderful. All right. So some basics about the truck. Over here on this board, you're going to have the name of the ghost. The name of the ghost, unfortunately, is not terribly important. When you are using your communication tools like your spirit box, or if you're talking out loud using the in-game mic, it will, if you say the ghost name, there's a small chance for it to raise its activity. it is not a noticeable amount. So while it's very fun to shout the ghost name, it's not necessary. On the board, it will also show you if the ghost will respond to multiple people being in the room, or if you have to be in the room alone with it. If it says we're unsure, it's because you have it set high enough difficulty that it won't tell you. Generally, I would just assume you have to be alone with the ghost so that you don't accidentally rule out Spirit Box because your friend is in the room with you. And then you've also got little tasks here. Each of these tasks adds a small amount to your reward. I believe it is 30 for any task that requires a consumable, and then it's $25 for every other task. These tasks, though, are multiplied both in your investigation bonus at the end of the game, which I'll show you, and then also by your difficulty multiplier. So these tasks are a really good thing to get finished so that you have more money, obviously. And then you also would see any kind of daily task you have to do and any weekly task. All right. Now, I am not going to go over each item individually. There's lots of great guides out there, and it is a guide that I might do later, but I do want to kind of get into the game here. But before I do that, I do want to talk about the sanity system very quickly. A lot of people I've been seeing when they play Phasmo, they don't quite understand the sanity system, and when they get in the house, they're very scared. They think the ghost is going to hunt immediately. Any kind of interaction sends them scurrying out into the truck. They take a guess and they run, and that's just not a very effective way to get cash, and it's also not necessary. So the sanity system here is a measurement of how likely the ghost is to hunt. Most ghosts will only hunt at 50%. There are a few notable exceptions, and we'll kind of go through them as they become a possibility. But for the most part, if your sanity is above 50, you are generally safe in the house. You can still be jump scared. The ghost will jump out at you. It wants to scare you. It also uses ghost events to lower your sanity more. But until you hit that 50 point, you are safe within the house for most ghosts. And if you come back in the truck and you're near that 50%, there are sanity pills to help raise that up if you need a little bit of more time for your investigation. Hey there, welcome on in. Thank you. It's going great. I'm just doing a little bit of a beginner overview of Phasmo. If you are a beginner, I hope this is helpful to you. And if you're not a beginner, I hope you just stick around a little bit. There might be some interesting things that you don't know. And if there isn't, I just love to have you in my chat. Thanks for stopping in. When you go into the house, you are going to start losing sanity. Outside the house, you don't lose sanity. Inside the house, you begin to lose sanity. And you generally lose sanity whenever you are in the dark. Being in the dark is scary. It begins to drain your sanity down to that 50% danger zone. I'm so sorry. Whew. Lost my train of thought there for a second. The other thing that will drain your sanity are ghost events. That is when the ghost physically, well, it can also airball, but that is when the ghost physically appears and will do some kind of scary interaction. If the ghost touches you during that, say by chasing after you, doing an airball and making that loud sighing noise that you may have run into, or if you physically walk into the ghost, it will drain your sanity, typically by about 10%. So again, if you have a good idea what your sanity is, you're generally safe when you go into the when you go into the house. Whew. I'm good, folks. All right. You're generally safe when you go on into the house. You want to keep an idea of what your sanity is, and when you have those ghost events, if you have a good idea of what your sanity is, you kind of know how safe you are, because it can only drain, again, about 10%. All right. Let's go ahead and grab some starter items, and we're going to go on into the house and talk a little bit about the lighting, how it interacts with sanity, and then also about the ghost. Here we go. Again, these items that I've picked up, I will explain sort of along the way in a later portion of this. But for now, I've grabbed myself a head cam, I've got myself an EMF, a camera, and a thermo, and we'll see if we can't find ourselves a ghost. So at this stage here, while this door is locked, the ghost is not active. It's not doing anything in the house. I don't even know that it's appeared yet. Um, it is simply waiting for you to enter. You're also not losing any sanity. So if I were to sit here and talk with you all for another 20, 30 minutes, I'm fine. My sanity is not being lost, even though I'm kind of standing out here in this dark area. Once you click this door, the ghost activates, and then the ghost starts to do whatever the ghost wants to do. Now, there is a physical ghost in the house. There's a ghost character. It's invisible, you can't see it, and it's going to start in what its favorite room is, often known as the ghost room. Then from there, it will start to kind of roam around the house. Generally, it won't go too far from its ghost room, depending on what settings you have it on. In addition, professional and higher, it can change its favorite room, with professional being a very low likelihood of doing so, up to nightmare and insanity, where sometimes the ghost just doesn't know where it wants to be. Alright. While it is in the house, again, you are not in danger generally if you're above 50% sanity. It will do interactions where it will either touch a door, throw an item. Sometimes there are unique interactions like it can teleport a mannequin around to startle you, or it can move a bear around, which will make this weird little giggling noise and also startle you. These are actually really useful. They're scary sometimes. You can definitely jump. I imagine I'll jump at some point during this stream. But you're safe. Then it will do a ghost event, and that is when the ghost manifests. You'll actually see it, or you'll see an airball. Oh, we have a cat visitor. Hello. Hi there. We are busy. I think you're going to go back down. Yeah, back down you go. Bye, friend. I will introduce you to my cat sometime. Yes, goodbye. Off you go. Don't make me close the door. Cats, am I right? Alright. Where were we? I know. I did leave the door open because honestly, I do love these cats. And if they wanted to say hello, I was more than happy with that. If they do become a nuisance, I will close the door to my studio here, and we'll have to say goodbye to them for that. Alright, so there's a ghost around. It's going to do interactions, and then it's going to do ghost events. Ghost events, again, this is where the ghost physically manifests. These can often be very scary, they're startling. The ghost might break the lights, or it might appear and sing ominously at you. Ghost events can be very useful. They're a great time to grab a ghost photo. They're a good indication of where the ghost might be. If you walk into a room and it does a ghost event, there's a good chance the ghost is in that room as its favorite room, or it's in an adjacent similar room. With everything I say here, there are some notable exceptions by ghost. Each and every one of these ghosts has... Oh, there's my cursor. Each and every one of these ghosts sort of has special abilities. But in general, if the ghost event appears, the ghost is probably near you somewhere as its favorite room. And then the final thing... Oh, a very important thing to note when it comes to ghost events, because when a ghost appears, it can be really scary. You can be worried that it's hunting you, and if it does hunt and kill you, you lose out on a lot of your profit, and you lose all of the items that you brought with you as well. When it does a ghost event, generally what it will do are... Excuse me. When it does a ghost event, it will turn off the lights before doing so. So if you are in a room and the lights suddenly go out and then you hear the ghost, while definitely terrifying, again, you're pretty safe. The ghost is doing a ghost event. Once you get over your initial moment of terror, it's a great time to, as I said, grab a ghost picture, use your spirit box to really capture that ghost, um, get an idea whether or not it is a spirit box ghost. Whew. Again, I'm just a little nervous, folks. Thank you for bearing with me. Um, and then finally, when the ghost is hunting, that is one that takes a little experience. It's a little hard to know when it's hunting, and it can be really scary. It is the most dangerous part of the game. However, one really good thing to note is if you start to hear the ghost, especially like it's moaning or it's singing, you start to hear footsteps, and your lights are still on, it is probably hunting. At which point you need to break for it, find a hiding spot as fast as you can, and hide there. And if we get a hunt, I will try to go over some hiding. All right. Thank you, folks, as we stared at this door forever. Let's go ahead and get this open and see if we can find a ghost. Any ghosties here? So, as it's professional, I do not have the breaker on. If you are new here, the breaker is what kind of controls the power. It has the same spot everywhere. In every map, it has spots that it will appear. They aren't randomized, but they are not, they're fixed but randomized. So on Willow Street, there happens to be two different, by the way, you might have heard a phone there. That means the ghost is likely up around the kitchen area. But I really want to get this breaker on first. So we're going to get the breaker on. Like I was saying, there are two spots on Willow Street. One is the basement, one is the garage that we passed. And you should generally make a beeline for those spots as fast as you can if you're trying to figure out the ghosts and avoid losing your sanity. Once you've done so, you should begin turning on lights. Now, when you are standing in light, you do not lose any sanity, so you should still be at about 100%. Excuse me. You should still be at about 100%. Oftentimes I find that I'm closer to 95 or 90, depending on how long it took me to get to the breaker. Unless the ghost does a ghost event or a special ability, you are not losing any sanity in the light, and you can kind of investigate at your leisure. You do have a maximum lights that you are allowed to have on in the house. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but you definitely, you're unlikely to run into it. And if you do, you just go turn the breaker back on. Okay, so now that we've gotten the, oh, hello there, friend. That was a ghost. Hello there, ghost. that was very kind of you, but I'm not ready for you yet. So stay there. Whew. So like I said, if the ghost events you like that, you are probably standing in or near the ghost room. So I would guess that this ghost is likely somewhere in the kitchen, the dining room, or maybe this room here. So let's go ahead and turn on a light as well. So now as I move through here and I'm looking for the ghost, I'm not losing sanity, provided the ghost is not doing any kind of ghost ability. And I can kind of investigate, see what I've got. I've got my EMF out, see if I can find it. The reason I've got the thermo out here is because, especially with the tier 1 thermo, it's a great way to find the ghost. If you're in, oh, breath, perfect. I'll explain that in a second. As you move throughout the house, if you've got the breaker on, all the rooms are going to slowly rise to about 20 degrees Celsius or 68 Fahrenheit, whichever one you prefer. Except for the room that the ghost is in. That one is going to keep getting colder, down to like 1 degree above 0 unless you have freezing temperatures. So if you can kind of, you know what, I bet you are a bathroom ghost. Let's see, are you a bathroom ghost? No, okay. So if you can see the temperature on my, sorry, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see me pointing. Towards the temperature, you can see my temperature is rising. So it's not this room. It might be this room. I'm going to stand here for just a second, and my temperature is going back down. Okay, I'm going to guess that it's probably this room. We'll go ahead and drop our stuff, buy stuff. We're going to go get more stuff. Very important, by the way. You should know if you hit shift, you sort of do this running. Let's turn that light on too. You do have a limited amount of sprint. You don't want to waste it when the ghost is like. You don't want to waste it because if the ghost starts chasing you, you want to be able to run faster. But oh, that is interesting. Okay. Oh, the ghost appearing there kind of threw me off my game. What was I talking about? Oh, okay. So again, if you can see here, thank you, Lady Catherine. So that is interesting because I'm about 20% down, and I was standing in the light most of the time. Now, there was some time I was standing in the dark, like the bathroom was dark. And of course, I was standing in the basement for a while it was dark. But I don't think I would be at 80%. So either I was in the dark longer than I thought, or the ghost event that happened, I was too close and the ghost got to drain my sanity 10%. The final option could be that it has some kind of ghost event that is draining my sanity while I'm not aware of it. I think more than likely the ghost event is what dropped my sanity by the extra 10% here, but I'm going to kind of keep a note of that because when I go into my journal and I'm looking at ghosts, I'm going to keep in mind what ghost could have drained my sanity without me being aware of it. The Djinn is a really good example of that. When the breaker is on, it has a ghost ability that can kind of drain your sanity. And so if you're losing sanity unexpectedly, because again, if you're using your lights, if you're keeping a good idea on your sanity, you should have a good idea of what you should be at. So if you're losing sanity unexpectedly, you might want to start looking at ghosts that could do that. That is by hitting J. In the options, you can look at all the keybinds. J is a great way to bring up your journal. And if you are the first time you're playing this, the journal has an amazing amount of information, but it also has a lot of information it doesn't say. So definitely take everything here with a grain of salt, and that is by design. I believe the developers have said that they intentionally left some information out so that there's things to discover about the ghosts. For example, this Banshee here, its strength says that it will weaken its target, and then its weakness is that you can kind of hear it on the parabolic mic with a scream. But what it doesn't tell you is that the Banshee, the way that it weakens you is it has an ability to roam directly to you. And when it does roam to you, it doesn't drain your sanity, but it's more likely to do ghost events. It's more likely to turn off your lights. It will leave its room. It will roam straight to you, even if you're on the other side of the house, and then it might do an event. But the journal doesn't tell you that. The other thing the journal's not telling you about the Banshee is the other way that it weakens you is if it ghost event you and touches you, instead of that 10% I mentioned before, the Banshee will make you lose 15% if you're its target. I am going to do a video at some point about each of the ghosts, hopefully on matches that actually have those ghosts, but that is a good thing to keep in mind. So if I had come back in here and I was actually closer to like 75, I would start thinking maybe Banshee, because I think that ghost event did hit me, in which case if I saw I was at about 75, I might think maybe it hit me for 15 instead of 20%. Thank you for that great question, though. And again, if anyone has any questions, please just shout them out. Or if you just want to say hello, I am happy to meet so many new and interesting people. I've had a short stay here on Twitch already. I've met so many people. I'm going to tab back over. In my list of early followers here, many of these people are also wonderful creators themselves, so go ahead, definitely go check out their channel. I definitely want to give a shout out to Andy Havoc here. I would not have so many wonderful people if he hadn't given me a chance to sort of talk about my channel and really kind of hype it up. And so I really, really appreciate that. And again, all these other people, a lot of them are also content creators and streamers with really, really great content. So maybe after you're done talking to me, you head on over there and check out some of them. All right, let's get back into the game here. Okay, so again, that was about our sanity here. So now that we kind of know where we think the ghost is, and I am playing on professional, which means that the ghost can change favorite rooms. I've been out here for a while. There's a good chance it has changed its favorite room. But for now, I'm going to assume that it's somewhere in, I think it was that big main room just past the kitchen. So I'm going to grab myself some of these and one of these. Now, folks, I am going to go do a run through where I go through my strategy and my step-by-step. I have a process. It is definitely a great way to kind of keep yourself safe. I do not like being hunted. I do not like dying. So I try to avoid being hunted as much as possible. In the meantime, though, this crucifix here, this will prevent the ghost from hunting. Now, I am likely not in danger of it hunting at this point because I am at 80%, but I could be ghost vented. I could be dealing with a particularly nasty ghost. And so I just want to get these in here as quickly as possible so that, again, I can investigate in relative safety. Actually, let's go ahead and at this point, the thing that I am most worried about is the demon. Demons have a high hunting threshold. They can hunt at 70 or lower. It is a very early hunter, and it's often very aggressive. The other thing that the demon can do is it does have an ability, a very rare ability, to hunt at any sanity. It will roam towards you, and then it will hunt. It doesn't happen often, but it is a possibility. So that's why I'm bringing in the crucifixes now, because I don't have any other evidence. I don't know if I'm dealing with a demon yet. The other thing that I would be worried about is potentially the Mimic, because the Mimic is a ghost that can mimic other ghost abilities. So it could be a Mimic, pretend to be a demon, and come kill me. There are so many ghosts here. You're looking at a 2 in, I think it's 21 chance. It is unlikely, but again, if you're trying to be safe, if you're a beginner and you just want to get that money up, being safe does not hurt. Alright. Let's go ahead and get in here. Alright, we'll go ahead and pop these down. And I've kind of spread them out because I want to get the maximum range here. Now let's go ahead and check here. Oh, okay. So if you can see here, my temperature, it's really high. It is unlikely that the ghost is in this room. It is kind of going down now, but I think that's because the ghost is roaming over towards me. So we're going to kind of do what we did in the beginning. We're going to check around and see if we can spot the ghost somewhere else. It's definitely colder here. Oh, and it's getting colder again. This is very interesting. I'm not sure why. This would be my first stream. I would have a ghost that just doesn't want to play nice, which is okay. Sometimes ghosts are a little rude, and we catch them. We find them anyway. Okay. Oh, it's got a lot of activity. Okay. So this is why it's also a good idea to not necessarily rely on the thermometer. Because while it was kind of cold out here, it's because the ghost keeps roaming out here, or potentially that its room was out here originally. But now, it's definitely in here. It's got, if you can see, this kind of messy stuff. Generally, the keepers of the house are actually a little cleaner than this. So you got some messy stuff, you got the thermo going down, and again, you're starting to see that breath. Breath, by the way, used to mean freezing temperature, which was one of the evidence. It no longer... I'm not ready for you. Stop it. It is no longer an indication of freezing temp. All it means is that the room is very, very close to freezing. It's a very cold room. There might be a ghost in your house. I'm going to hope that there isn't, or if there is, it is a nice ghost. And we'll go ahead and pop this book down. Okay, now that I've pretty sure I've located the ghost, I'm going to go ahead and grab this again, and we're going to put this back here. Boop. Okay, stay there. And then this one, I'm going to move it a little bit, but I'm going to keep it here because crucifixes will, like I said, they keep you safe. If the ghost tries to hunt, it's going to, if there's a crucifix down and it's within this range, it's going to burn this instead. And so if this burns, you know that your ghost tried to hunt, but it doesn't kill you because obviously it didn't hunt. And then I put this one out here because if the ghost roamed out here and tried to hunt, it would trap me in this room. And I don't want to be trapped in this room with a hunting ghost, so I don't want it to come out here and try to hunt either. Crucifixes are a great way. If there's a spot you do not want the ghost to come at you from, you put the crucifix down in that area. Okay, so we got our stuff down there. Let me just kind of look over my agenda, make sure I have not missed anything. Agenda. Alright. So now we're going to start gathering some evidence. You saw I put in over earlier the book. Book is one of the evidences. The camera here, it can show you something called a ghost orb, and that's a kind of evidence as well. Ghost orbs are, they're these little floating things that you'll see on the camera. They look like the snow out. Oh, hey. No. I already woke up too early. I don't need to wake up again. Thank you. Nope. Go away. Shh. So by the way, if you've got this going off, you just left click it to turn it off. It will annoy you, so definitely do that. Okay, so I was talking about ghost orbs. So they're easier to see with the dark, but if you're looking around here, and you can kind of... Ooh, yeah, look at that. There we go. Let me take the camera off the tripod here so that you can kind of see it better. So do you see how that one, the snow on the side there, it's all falling down really quickly, but this one, it's slowly wandering down and it's inside the house. Now sometimes snow will glitch in here and you'll see it, but this is definitely a ghost orb. And now I can't see. And I can't see. Stop it, I'm not ready for that. Okay. So I've got a ghost orb. Amazing, exciting. We're going to go ahead and click that for us. Stop it. This ghost is a very active ghost, and it's very fun. It's a very fun ghost, but it's also interrupting me. Oh, but we did get a light switch. So if your light goes off and the ghost doesn't appear and do a ghost event, you can check it to see if you've got fingerprints, or UV as it's now called. And it will be this little green thing. If I find it later, I'll kind of point it out. Oh man, this ghost is going crazy. Let's go grab an EMF here real quick. Perfect. I'm going to pop that down. And did I leave anything else here that I should have? Yes, you. Come here. Boop, thank you. Okay, we're going to pop that down as well. It's touching that. So if you hear that noise, by the way, that means the ghost just touched the door. You gotta go run and check for UV. I'm gonna throw that down. It is called, thank you again, Lady Catherine. It is called UV now because beforehand, the ghost would do like a handprint on the door or a fingerprint there, and that was one of the evidences. It would also do, and only certain ghosts would do that, but also ghosts would step in the salt, which I'll show you salt later, and they would leave footprints that look very similar to fingerprints. And a lot of people were very confused if the footprint counted as a fingerprint or not. So they wanted to clarify. So now, if you see a glowing green thing under black light, on the door, on a footprint, on... I am not ready for you. Stop it. Boop. Okay. You see a glowing green fingerprint, handprint, footprint. Now you know that that is UV. And not all ghosts do footprints anymore, only UV ghosts. As much as I love how active this ghost is, let's run out to the truck so we can do a little bit more talking. Awesome. I'm definitely glad I can give tips and stuff. Oh, hi there, Gaming. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Come on in. We're just going over some beginner tips as kind of my first stream here. Um, for anyone who's played Phasmo before, some of this might be a little bit basic. I do tend to over-explain things when I'm explaining things. Um, Hopefully, there's some tips that you don't know. But if they are, I just really encourage you to stick around. There might be some things that you don't know. There might be just fun, good times. And then as soon as I go over some of this beginner stuff, we're going to get into professional runs. We're going to speed things up and we're just going to have fun. So welcome on in. Gaming is, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, is also a streamer here. I watch some of their stuff. It's really fun. I would definitely go check them out as well. Oh, hey, look, I got a ghost photo. Okay. So we got ourselves a ghost orb. So now we're kind of going through, and once you've clicked here, sorry, I should explain this. So in this evidence thing, when you click an evidence, it will eliminate all the ghosts that don't have that evidence. And so the more evidence you gather, the easier it is to sort of determine what ghost it is. And when you're playing professional, excuse me, when you're playing professional, you get all three evidences. Each ghost only has three evidences, with the exception of the mimic that can also do ghost orbs. And we did get a ghost orb, so we could be dealing with a mimic. But clicking the ghost orb here, this is going to eliminate everything else. So we know that we're dealing with one of these highlighted ghosts. The other thing that you can do is you can double click, and now it does a line through it. And you say, I am fairly certain this ghost does not have this evidence. Yeah, hemoglobin. Hi there. Welcome on in, by the way. Yeah, so there's two different things when it comes to salt, and again, I'm going to show you salt here in a second. This ghost is not a UV ghost, so we're not going to see the glowing footprints, but you will see the salt get disturbed, like a footprint in the salt. That doesn't count as UV, but the glowing footprint that often appears afterwards, that is UV evidence now. Okay, so I'm going to scratch off ultraviolet. When you do that, it's going to, again, eliminate any ghost that does have that as an evidence now, so that you're not trying to guess that. So, again, we're eliminating ghosts here, getting a good idea of, excuse me, I think a little water here real quick. Getting a good idea of what it might be. I'm actually feeling fairly good about this list of ghosts now, and I'll go through why real quick. All of these ghosts are fairly safe when it comes to hunting. The most dangerous of them right now is the Raiju, only because the Raiju can hunt at 65. Oh man, my sanity is low. Again, this is why it's a good idea to check your sanity every now and then also to stand in the light. The reason my sanity is so low at this point is more than likely because I was in the dark explaining ghost orbs for so long, and then I didn't think it was that long. We'll keep that in mind. I was in the dark explaining ghost orbs for so long, and that's why my sanity is so low here. Again, I am fairly safe, though. I'm not at 50 yet, except for, like I was saying, the Raiju. Now, when there is electronics in the room, the Raiju can hunt at 65. Again, when we actually encounter these ghosts, I'm going to go through little tips and tricks about them that I'm aware of. I think my information is pretty accurate, but there may be some things that I don't know either. But again, the Raiju is the thing that I am the most worried about. The Fae is a very interesting ghost. It's one of the newer ghosts. And when you first begin a match, the Fae can potentially hunt at, I believe it is 75. It is one of the earliest hunting ghosts. However, the Fae gets less active as you go, and that threshold drops. We have been in this match for quite some time because we're stopping and explaining and hanging out. At this point, the Fae probably can't hunt until at least 50, probably 40. I'm not too worried about the Fae. That Raiju, though, I'm going to keep an eye out for. And we're going to go ahead over here, grab this. This is a sanity pill. You may notice that I do have tier 3 on almost everything. Excuse me. I do have tier 3 on almost everything. Your sanity pills are going to look a little bit different. I am going to pop this here in a second, and you're going to hear a heartbeat because the tier 3 sanity gives you unlimited sprint. Very important thing to note about that, though. It gives you unlimited sprint by turning off your sprint drain. So if you are already out of sprint and you pop one of these sanity pills, you don't get more sprint back. You still can't sprint. You need to save some sprint, take one of the pills, and then you have unlimited sprint until that heartbeat dies down. If you're relying on it to give you sprint back, you're just going to die. And I don't want that. Don't die. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pop one of these. And you can see my sanity's rising. And just because I don't want to get hunted by the Raiju just yet. Alright, I got my spirit box here. We're going to go ahead and grab some salt. Do I have paramite? Nope. Okay. I'm just going to grab 2 salt. So now we're going to go ahead on in. And again, it is a new thing. We had tier 2 equipment for the longest time, and with the most recent update is when they added the tier 3, and they did add some really cool abilities. Alright, we're going to go ahead and throw this down. Throw. I'm actually going to throw this down too because I haven't explained it yet. So now we got to kind of figure out what we're dealing with here, and I'm going to do Spirit Box. Oh. Okay. Real quick here. First, this light is now on, and I did not turn it on. And there's a couple reasons I didn't turn it on. First off, if this light is off, the main light here is off, but this light is on, you are losing sanity as if you're in the dark. The only light that counts is the main light in a room. And knowing what the main light is, generally it will be activated by a little light switch over here. It won't be any of these side lamps. But yeah, so the other interesting thing about this light being on is, again, I didn't turn it on, which means the ghost turned it on. Ghosts can turn on lights, except for the mayor. And we hadn't eliminated the mayor yet. This is one of the tricks and tips about mares. They cannot turn on lights. They do not like lights. So if you ever have a ghost turn a light on you, just immediately go into your journal, cross out mare, because you don't have to... Stop it. Hey. Rude. Are you here? Let me do this real quick and I'll explain why. Whew. So, don't worry, folks. Again, I am more than likely safe. I am more than likely safe, and the reason I knew that I was safe there, other than the initial, like, you... Oh, I may not be safe now. Okay, whew. That is one of the events that scares me. Okay, let's go to the truck, and I'll tell you why I was safe, and then thought I might not be safe there. I know, right? This ghost is really fun. Not great for a beginner tutorial, but a really fun ghost. I'm actually really glad we've got this ghost, because it just showcases some of the amazing fun that you can just have with this game. Oh, okay. We'll explain that here in a second. I've got a whole queue of things to explain. Again, if you've got questions or you just want to say hello, I'm happy to see everybody. Again, thank you for tuning into my first stream. It really, really makes a difference to me. I'm really hoping to see this really grow. And so if you're here for my first stream, thank you. I don't want to sound pretentious, but I hope this is history in the making. Okay, we got queued up a couple things to talk about. So I just got ghost evented back to back there. And that first ghost event, it closed the door on me, it turned out the lights, and then it came at me, and it ghost evented me. It was very scary, but I also knew that I was safe because it turned off the light and closed that door. when a ghost hunts, it doesn't do that. It simply starts hunting. It won't turn off the light. It won't close you in a room. So while those things are really scary in the moment, in terms of whether or not you're in danger, you're not. Um, they just startle the pants off of you. Um, that second hunt, though, I heard the ghost, the lights were blinking, but the lights were still on. And that's why, for a moment, I considered I might be in danger. And that is one of the things that, one of the more tricky events that's really fun, is when the ghost will blow out the lights. That is a ghost event. Ghosts often do that. I'm honestly surprised it's not a mare, because mares love to do that. But that's why I thought I might be in danger there, because it hadn't turned the lights off yet. Ooh, okay. Oh, look at that active ghost. Now, you might have noticed me come in here and say, interesting. That's because when I was looking at this activity monitor, this is the EMF activity, there were a lot of high-level activities. Now, that big 10 spike, that was a ghost event back-to-back. Ghost events on the activity monitor will register somewhere between 3 and 6, and when you do them back-to-back, it's going to shoot up to 10 because 10 is the maximum. It will also shoot up to 10 if it's hunting, but obviously that wasn't a hunt. However, the next thing after that did have a spike that looked about 4 or 5, and I didn't have a ghost event there. There's a good chance this is an EMF 5 ghost, but with the ghost activity monitor, this shows a value that is one off of whatever the true value is. So it may randomly show you if it's the ghost has touched something, that's an EMF 2. But on the activity monitor, you might see, as you see here, you might see EMF 1, you might see EMF 3, because they wanted to make it harder to kind of see EMF 5 from the truck. However, when you start seeing EMF 4 or EMF 6 events, you're likely dealing with EMF 5, unless you had a ghost event at that time or multiple ghost interactions. So, yeah, like this here. Look at this. This here it is showing EMF 4 on my activity monitor, but I'm not in there. And EMF 4 is a ghost event generally. Ghosts don't do events if you're... Kaylee, I'm in the middle of explaining. Off you go. Sorry. My cat is very excited to be with us all. I think we're gonna have to close the door, and then I'll explain the EMF. Thank you all for bearing with me. I love my kitties, but they need to go away for a moment. All right. So as I was explaining there, seeing an EMF 4 when I'm not in... Oh, what was that? Hello there. Thank you. Thank you for following, Joey Titch. Thank you for coming on in. Oh. Is my sound better now? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. More than likely, the mic just kind of queued out because I had set it down for a second. Anyway, hi, Joey. Come on in. We are just going over some beginning Phasmophobia tips. We were just talking a little bit about the EMF activity monitor here because I think this is probably an EMF ghost, but we're going to find out. If you are new to Phasmo, it's definitely hopefully there's some really interesting stuff in here for you. And if you're already a veteran, I hope I've got an interesting tip. Not the, yes. Yeah, so it is the activity, and activity and EMF are very much linked. As I was explaining before, the activity monitor, it's going to show a value that is either plus or minus 1 from the EMF level that it will show you on the EMF reader. And so that is to make it harder to tell EMF without the EMF. Yes, definitely thank you for sharing. It's really important that you use this to kind of inform your guests, but you don't see 5 and say that's what it is. Okay, whew. We got ourselves cats and ghosts. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, we're gonna go back in there now that the ghost has hopefully settled down a little bit. Just what have I got here? Okay. At this point, I'm also probably going to mark off Spirit Box. And again, actually, no, I'm not going to mark off Spirit Box. Generally, if you are not 100% certain, it's a good idea not to mark something off. And if you're not 100% certain, it's a good idea not to mark it. Only because there are some times where the ghost will bamboozle you, and then you'll think you've got the ghost, and you're not going to make it through. Alright, let's go check some of our other stuff and see if we can figure out what this ghost is. Now, unfortunately, this ghost has blown out my lights here. Let's see. Okay. So I'm turning that on, not because it's going to save my sanity, but mostly so that I at least have a little bit better light to see. So it hasn't done that. Ah, there we go. We have another piece of evidence here. So as you can see, this is my thermo, and now it's gone way below 0. As soon as it hits below 0, you've got yourself freezing temperatures. If it's not a freezing temperature ghost, it's going to hover right at that 0 or 32 mark. Okay, so we've got ourselves ghost orbs, we've got ourselves freezing. We don't have ghost writing. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put dots up real quick. I think it is more than likely an EMF ghost here, making it... Oh, it can't be an EMF ghost. Interesting. Except for... Okay, yeah. And then that is why it's really, really important not to mark that off, because if I had marked EMF there, there's a good chance it would be wrong. Now, the reason I say it can't be an EMS, because I know I have ghost orbs, and I know I have freezings, and if I click EMF, there's no ghost left. So it can't be an EMF ghost. I don't need to look for that anymore. I need a spirit box, I need a ghost writing, or I need a dots. So dots here, by the way, let's put that there. Dots is a very interesting evidence. As you're watching it, you might see basically this ghostly outline. Sorry, ghostly outline of a ghost. You'll see this outline of a ghost in the dots. It will be kind of greenish. That's not a ghost event. That's not the ghost hunting. That is the dots evidence. I am going to go ahead and So now I'm just really trying to see if I can get this ghost to talk to me. Now you might notice that my settings, I have text on. This is an option that you can turn on. Yeah. So it's a nice option. I like it. Only, oh, there, you see that? You see that? Perfect. Oh, I don't know why I turned that on. It broke my light earlier. Perfect. Okay. Yes. Okay, amazing. Dots ghost. Love dots. Yeah, so now we know what we're dealing with. At this point, again, ghosts only ever have 3 evidences except for the mimic. Now we know 100% that we're dealing with a Yurei. If I had not already gotten myself a ghost photo, I would definitely be sitting around here trying to get a ghost photo with the dots. Because now with dots, you can get ghost photos, and it's a really nice touch. Ghost photos used to be very difficult to get. Now you can get them through the events. You can get them through the hunt. It's still very hard, but oh, there it was again. Hello there. It has a sickle. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, we're gonna go now. Bye. None of that. Stop it. Go away. Hey. That was definitely Grandma saying, "It is time to go. I've had enough of you. I am not a beginner tutorial ghost. Go away." Yes. Again, there. I also knew I was safe because it turned off that light before it did that. If it had not turned off the light and I had seen that, you probably would have heard lots of screaming. But it turned off the light and then it came at me. It also had a shadowy ghost model that kind of almost looks like a black shadow. And that is also something that it generally just does not do during a hunt. So I knew I was safe. It just was a little startling. Lady Catherine, I'm not going to go for a perfect game in this one. I think we've spent a lot of time with this ghost. I do want to go into, now that I've done some really good beginner tips, I do want to go through my beginning setup and what I generally do and explain why through each piece. So I think we're going to go with Ure. We're going to hit the button and we're going to head on out. I do hope that I get a perfect game at some point tonight, tonight, whatever time it is. I do hope to get a perfect game sometime today, just not this one. There we go. And as you can see, they did, actually, this is really cool. They did just add achievements. For the longest time, we didn't have achievements. I have actually dealt with many, many, many different Ures, but this is the first one I've gotten since the achievement, so woo! Alright, let me just make sure I haven't missed anybody. Also, anyone who's just joining us, thank you for coming in. This is my very first stream. I'm excited to have everybody here. If you've got any questions, I'm doing some beginner Phasmo stuff now. And then we're just going to get into some professional runs. I'm going to go for about 2 more hours, so definitely stick around. Alright. On my badge. I think empty grave means on my badge. Yeah. So this is the badge that you got for the Halloween event. As you can see, I don't have a lot of badges at the moment. This is the badge that you got for the Halloween event this year. Unfortunately, the Halloween event has ended, but one of the great things that the Phasmo devs do is they do a lot of holiday events. So there'll be more than likely there'll be a Christmas event. There was an Easter event that was really fun. They had Easter eggs all around the map. You were Easter egg hunting while the ghost was trying to kill you. And then what they've implemented now are either trophies or badges for doing those. Lady Catherine, Easter was also my favorite event. I missed it this year, and I'm really sad, and I really hope that they bring it back again. It is so much fun, and it will also be a really fun thing to make a video about. Okay. Okay. We are back in here. We got ourselves a Ure, which was super fun. As you can see, my equipment list, it's already preloaded, and that is because I have this option, this auto add clicked. Do keep in mind if you have this clicked or not, because sometimes if you're wanting to switch up your equipment or something and it's already clicked, you could go in with stuff you did not mean to take. Well, if you follow some of my methods, hopefully the ghost won't be trying to kill you. But yeah, the Easter eggs with the ghosts was super fun. All right, let's see. And I think we're going to go back to Willow Street. Okay. So now, folks, I want to go through... excuse me. I want to go through my beginning setup, and as I go through, again, it's going to be a little bit on the slow side, only in that I actually have a pretty tried and true method that I use. I think if you wanted to adopt it, it could definitely help some of your gameplay. It's sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. Like, I'm not a genius or anything. I'm not claiming that. I definitely don't have an ego like that. But it is, I feel like, a method that's generally pretty effective, and it's pretty efficient. I do a lot of no sprint custom difficulty because it gives you a lot of rewards. And so it's really important to me to maximize how quickly I'm getting the evidence, when I'm bringing things into the house, not only because I don't have sprint, so I really don't want to be hunted, but also just because it takes a while to walk to the truck, and so I don't want to be bringing in things when I don't need them. Alright, let's go ahead and ready on up. Hmm. Alright. And before we do that, how's everybody doing? Are we having a great day out there? I definitely have more people than I was expecting on my first stream, so I love seeing you all, and I wanted to meet new people and really expand and grow and see all the cool things everybody is doing. Is anyone doing anything cool today? Uh, if you're doing like a stream or something later, go ahead and pop it in the chat super quick. I'd love to hear about it. Ba-ba-ba. Thank you, Lady Catherine. Thank you. Alright. I'm going to keep monitoring that, see if anyone has anything cool going on. Okay, so now I'm going to run through my setup here. Generally what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the thermo, if I can find my cursor, the thermo, the camera, and the EMF, and a head cam. And the reason that I have done this is because, hold on. The head cam is obvious. You need a light to be able to see, especially if your breaker is off. If you do not have a head cam yet, it is a tier 2 item. Oh, hemoglobin, awesome. I'm glad to be very distracting. I love being distracting. Hopefully your homework is not too much. Having done so much homework in my life, I know that that can be a real drag. All right. So the reason I've grabbed these 3 items in particular. Oh. Kill crabs. Oh. Very fun. Background noise. Yes. I'm glad, again, I'm glad to be background noise. I'm glad to be a distraction. Little meta information. If you are just sort of watching my stream, but you've got other things you can do, you can turn me down pretty low. You can also turn me down to like 2% or 1% if you need. And the reason I ask that is you won't be able to hear me very well, but it does still credit me for as a viewer. If you turn off, excuse me, my understanding is if you turn off the sound completely, Twitch doesn't credit me as having a view. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize, but definitely if you're going to put me on mute, just put me at like 1%. I would really appreciate it. Oh, Lady Catherine, I hope you don't have a whole lot more work. I am definitely getting tired of work. I'm having a lot of fun here, though, folks. All right. Let's go into... So, again, I have grabbed these 3 items in my head cam. Head cam, obviously, if you don't have one, you can grab a flashlight instead. And if you do, I would leave your photo cam. And I'll explain why here. So the thermo is a really good one. You definitely want to grab this generally first. When you have the breaker on, and as I explained earlier, when you have the breaker on, the temperature rises in all the rooms except for the room that the ghost is in. So if you enter a room and the temperature is rising, you're likely not in the ghost room. But if you enter a room and it sort of stays steady or it begins to drop, you're in the room where the physical ghost is, or you're in the ghost's fever. Excuse me. Let me clear that one up. The room that the ghost is physically in is the one that's going to lower the temperature. The ghost room tends to be colder because the ghost is usually in that room. So if you enter a room and the temperature is going down, you are more than likely in the ghost room, but you could just be in the room that the ghost has decided to walk to. Check around that room and any nearby rooms, because you want a room that is consistently cold or getting colder. And so the tier 1 thermo is the great way. It is one of the best items to take in first to try and find yourself a ghost. My second item choice, the EMF, I bring this in because, one, if you've got a really early EMF 5, it's great to have. The other thing is if you are moving through the house and you hear something, now some noises are just going to be ambient noises. They added that in to make it more atmospheric. But you hear something, you can switch over to your EMF and you can kind of try and find where it is because it will bring that EMF for a little bit afterwards. So if you hear a door touch, but you're not sure which door it is, you can wander through the house, or you can run towards where you think you heard it, and you can see if you can get EMF off a door. And then again, the ghost is somewhere around that first interaction. And then finally, I tend to bring the photo cam in first for two reasons. As you're moving through the house, there's certain items that you'll want to take pictures of, and they are oftentimes not anywhere near the ghost, and you don't want to have to go find them again. There is the bone. Every map has a bone. We did not find it in the last one because we were just talking about the ghost. There's a bone that you'll want to take a picture of and then pick up. There's a cursed item that you'll want to take a picture of and potentially use. We're not going to cover cursed items today unless I decide we need to use one to find the ghost. Um, and then the other reason I bring the camera in first is because ghost events are very rare, but they're one of the best ways to get a ghost camera. And I cannot tell you how many times I've loaded into the map. I've gotten a really early ghost event. We had that earlier today in our first match. We get a really early ghost event and we don't have our camera on us, and then we just don't get a ghost event for the rest of the session. it's really sad. So I tend to bring these three items in first. This is what I usually call my first trip in. Again, I play often with no sprint, so it's really important to grab my first really important items. And then I'm going to turn on my head cam. Again, if you don't have a head cam, leave your camera, grab a flashlight instead. The camera is probably the least important of these. And then when you have your head cam on, you just hold T to turn it on and off. It does need to be the tier 2 head cam, or the tier 3 will give you night vision. Alright folks, I should be back. I've got my camera. I'm not sure if my network dropped for a moment. I believe it is what is that called? A rite of passage to have technical difficulties on your first stream. Thank you, Retina. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if my network dropped, or I think Windows might have dropped an update, which is just a terrible time to do that. But we should be back. Unfortunately, I did have to restart, so we lost that game. We're going to kind of speed through the first part of that, and I'm going to get back to where we were. I'm not sure where I left you all at, so I do apologize if you've missed anything. I'll try to go back over it. But thank you all for sticking around. Thank you for coming back in. Let's go ahead and get back in there and see if we can't not only get through this, but also get to that reset, which I really want to do today. As much fun as I have definitely had on Willow Street, I'm going to actually go ahead and go to Tanglewood. A lot of people just really love Tanglewood. It is a map that I know a lot about, and I just want to make sure that we're able to get through. I did all my grinding last night, so I hopefully will get to that 100, and I want to hit that button with you. I want to celebrate with everybody. So let's go ahead and get back in there. Yes, I am back. As I was saying, definitely had myself a little whoopsie. Thank you all for sticking it out. I consider that a rite of passage for any streamer is to have some technical difficulties. As I had said previously, we did have to do a restart here. I lost it. We're in Tanglewood now. For when I talk about my setup here, again, we're going to start with the camera, the thermo, and my EMF. And the reason I do that, the EMF is a great way to look for the ghost when you first get in. Oh, it is foggy. It's a great way to look for the ghost when you first get in. If you hear a door touch, if you hear an item being thrown, you can track it down with the EMF. EMF sticks around for a little bit. The camera is for any kind of early ghost event, and as we go through the house very systematically, we're also going to be looking for that bone, that cursed item, and hoping for an early ghost event, and not wanting to miss it if you don't have the camera. And then, of course, our thermo, because as you move through the house, as you're watching it, once you've got that breaker on, if it's starting to go down, you are either near the ghost or you're in the ghost room, and if you're going up, you're basically playing hot and cold with the ghost, which is really fun. All right, let's go ahead. Gonna grab the key here. We are in Tanglewood now. I don't have the breaker on because I'm playing professional, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my EMF out, and I'm gonna beeline it for the 2 breaker spots. So we are lucky it is actually in the basement, and since I'm down in the basement, I don't really want to be here, but we're gonna double check, see if we can find a bone, look for any, there'll be a Ouija board here as a cursed item, or there could have been the summoning circle here. I'm gonna hope that it's not in the basement, just because basement's just not a fun room to deal with. But if it is, I can definitely show you through that. Now that I've gotten out of the basement, I'm going to keep looking for the bone and keep an eye on my thermo. The bone can kind of spawn anywhere that a player could be. There were some glitches earlier where the bone could spawn in places you couldn't get to. It could spawn outside the house. I think they've mostly fixed that. And as I go, I'm also going to try and be systematic as I can. So like, I'm going to go in the garage here now because I don't want to come back this way if it's not a garage ghost. Getting from the garage to the door can be really time consuming. So I want to kind of clear the garage and say, this is not where the ghost is. I don't have to deal with this. We also want to check to see if there's the voodoo doll there. Okay, I did hear a door touch, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my thermo. I'm going to see if I can find that door touch real quick. Now, the door touches, they don't last as long as they could, so I'm going to say that I'm going to stop looking for the door touch after that point, because I'm going to waste time if I'm touching a door and it's no longer giving EMF. So it's still going up here. I don't see the bone, and I'm going to keep moving through. As I'm going, ooh, I heard that. Again, when you hear stuff, you kind of want to see if you can locate where it is. If you have a really good headset, you might have omnidirectional sound. But that's kind of a, ooh, here we go. But that is an advanced skill, and like, don't be mad at yourself if you can't detect where it's coming from just by sound. Again, very advanced skill. If you're just a beginner starting out, it's okay to... Oh, and it turned on our light too. Okay. So now that I've got my thermo here, you can see my thermo. It's starting to go down. I'm more than likely in the ghost room, especially with all that activity. Bad ghost. Okay. Yes, you are absolutely correct, Lady Catherine. It is not a mare. Although it did turn out my light, which is just very rude. So we're gonna... Nope, that's the wrong one. Excuse me. I'm a little flustered after our technical difficulties. I'm going to get back in the swing here just a second. So yes, as Lady Catherine pointed out, I'm really glad you picked that up. It's not a mare because it turned on a light. And then... What am I in here for? I don't need to mark that right now. What I do need to do is I need to drop my camera in here, I'm going to drop my thermo in there, and I'm going to drop my EMF in there. And this is more than likely the room. I am going to go ahead and take the picture of this bone, though, and we'll drop that. Perfect. So it is definitely not a mare. There is actually a really good chance that this one is a phantom. And the reason I say that is a phantom is a ghost that does not like to have its picture taken. In fact, it is impossible to get a picture of a phantom. So if you take a picture of a ghost and the ghost disappears immediately, there's no kind of fuzz or distortion on the photo, it is more than likely a phantom. In addition, if you do take a picture and you do see the ghost in it, you know 100% it is not a phantom. Now, if I really wanted to, I could probably leave at this point, guess phantom, probably be right, but I don't want to do that yet, and I still want to go through my method. But just a really cool, interesting thing about the phantom, um, I'm, we're gonna see if it is a phantom. All right, so I've done my first trip in. I've dropped my stuff. Again, a really good example of why you want to bring your camera with you, because that was a really quick ghost event, and if I had not had my camera, I would have missed that ghost photo really fast. Um, on our second trip, again, we're going to grab ourselves this book and our crucifixes. Uh, oh, and he turned off my breaker. Rude. I was using that. Um, another quick good tip. Um, if a ghost turns off your breaker, it is not a djinn. And these things, again, they're not always posted in the journal. They're things that you either learn over time, you look up online, or you get watching your favorite content creators. And I do have a few that I love watching. You can always look at the homepage on my channel. I've got a good list of creators there that I really enjoy watching. A lot of them do Phasmo. I think yeah, just check them out after the stream. Okay, so we are going to go in here, and we're bringing the book with us because the book is a passive evidence. I put this down. Hopefully it doesn't write in it right away, as it did. I'm going to put the crucifixes down too to kind of protect myself. Again, my sanity should be well above 50. I didn't actually take a look, but it should be well above 50 because I have not spent a lot of time in the dark. And that is on purpose. Again, I don't want to be hunted. I want to get my information and get on out. Ooh. And we got our breaker back on. Okay. So now we got the crucifix, we got the book in there. If you have a moment, you kind of do want to check whenever you hear that EMF, because EMF 5 is just random. Anytime the ghost does something and it's an EMF ghost, it has a random chance to give EMF 5 instead. So if you can take just a split second to look at it, you could save yourself a lot of time if you happen to notice the EMF 5. But that's why I consider the EMF 5 an active evidence. It's something that you have to physically be looking at. You can't just leave it and forget it like the book or the thermo. All right, so now we're going to go in for our third load. In our second one there, again, we're being safe and we're grabbing the book. Now we're going to grab more of the active evidences. We're going to grab the UV because it might have touched some doors. Again, fingerprints UV stick around for, I think it's 2 minutes on professional. So while it's important to get a UV in there pretty quickly, it is not absolutely necessary. And we're going to go ahead and... This is not a great room to look for ghost orbs here. By the way, if you are having trouble with the shadow on the camera, just turn your light off for just a moment. I'm not seeing ghost orbs. I'm going to drop that, though, and it's one of the things that I'm going to kind of pay attention to. I'm also going to come turn... Oh, it broke that light, too. Okay. And then we're going to drop the dots here. Again, these are active things that you have to look for. So now that I've kind of narrowed my ghost down, I've got my basic evidence in, I'm going to start doing my active evidences. We're going to leave that there, because just like that, see, here we are, we've got ourselves some fingerprints, and with the UV thrown down like that, again, I was not here when it touched this door. Did it turn off my breaker again? Oh my god. This ghost is being annoying. We're going to step out so that I don't lose sanity. So I've got my UV down there, and because the tier 1 has ambient UV, if it touches that door, even when I'm not in the house, I'll come back and I'll see it. Finally, we're going to take a look at this camera here. It's a great idea to set up your camera looking at your dots, and then as you're coming back out for the spirit box, just take a moment to look. You might see dots on the camera real quick. You can take a look for ghost orbs on the camera real quick. You also want to turn off the lights as you leave that room so that you can do this, and so that when you come back in with the spirit box, you can just go straight into asking for it. All right. Oh, hey, we already got a thing done, too. I am at 65% sanity, and that has to do a lot with the fact that it keeps turning off my breaker, and I keep going into the dark. That is why it's really important, especially if you're trying to avoid being hunted, trying to get the ghost, to keep your breaker on and to keep your light on. So I'm going to go ahead and take a sanity pill now, just because I still want to go through my routine. I'm not quite ready to look at hunts and whatnot. It's going to raise us up pretty close to 90. It's going to put us back to the safe zone, and we're going to see if we can't turn on that breaker. Now, I'm going to grab myself a spirit box here, as well as a salt. Oh, this is one of the faux pas. Try not to bring your camera back in with you. You want to limit the amount of times you have to go in and out of the truck, because every time you do, you're adding like 20 seconds onto your game. It's okay, I'm going to live with only one salt. And we're going to go ahead on in here. You can also, with this room, you can kind of look in here and see if you can see dots on your way in. Okay. So we're going to go on in here, and we're going to do the spirit box. Now, because he broke my light, it's really important to make sure that this light is off, or you may not get spirit box. If the light is on, even if he broke your light, it will not do spirit box. You must do spirit box in the dark. And I'm... Oh, okay. So that is a little bit of a problem there. We're going to go sort that out real quick. So, whew, my ghosts are just not being nice. They're being very rude. However, that ghost just did a ghost event on me. I was very close to it, which means that it hit my sanity. I'm going to check my sanity again. I should be well over 50, but I'm just going to check my sanity. The other thing to look at is it did do a spirit box response, and because it did a ghost event at the same time, it was hard to see. If you've got a spirit box and you're in the dark and you are using either the text-to-speech or you're asking basic questions like, are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Those are all a really good routine to just kind of go through. When you hear the radio talk back to you and you see the white lights at the bottom, that means that you have spirit box as an evidence, which is good because spirit box is phantom evidence, and I am fairly certain we're dealing with a phantom here. The other nice thing is if you do get ghost evented like that and you've got the spirit box in your hand, just try and get spirit box. Try to get spirit box, because the other thing with spirit box is that the ghost has to be physically near you in order to respond. So when you have a ghost event, you know exactly where that ghost is, and you can go ahead and use your spirit box on that. Again, I did not check UV. Thank you. That is also a phantom evidence. I believe EMF is the last. Nope. It's dots. Dots is going to be the last evidence for phantom, and again, I'm fairly certain that it's a phantom. We are going to go back in, though, try and confirm that, and then we're also going to turn that breaker on, because managing your sanity is a really, really important thing in order to play this game effectively, to get the cash, and to not die, because dying, one, is just generally not fun. Some people really enjoy it. I don't particularly enjoy it, and it also just, you lose items as well as not getting cash, so it's kind of a double hit. So we're going to go ahead and we'll pop on in here. Also, Hemoglobin, thank you so much for reminding me to do that. Thank you, everyone, for coming in, for watching, for interacting with me. I'm a little frazzled just from my stream dropping, but I'm definitely getting back into the swing of it, and I do really appreciate you sticking through and reminding me of the UV. You gotta stop it, Ghost. I'm trying to do a thing. That was a really close ghost event. I'm probably now sitting at about 50 sanity, so I'm going to go take that last sanity pill. And again, if that ghost gets near you and then interacts, yeah. So as you can see here, while I have been in the dark a bit, I know, right? Oh, I love how active these ghosts are being. I wish they weren't doing it during my tutorials, but I do really love how active these ghosts are being. After this round, I'm going to turn on my no sprint difficulty just to try and get up to that tier 100. We're going to go a little bit faster, and we'll do a lot more kind of just chatting, hanging out. I think I have about an hour left. Yeah, I have about an hour left in the stream. I really want to confirm dots for you. And then at this time, I might also look at, okay, these are hunt objectives, and I'm not going to do them today. There are definitely safe ways to do a hunt, and I've got a lot of content I've got planned. So if you are still enjoying and you want to hit follow, I really appreciate it. Um, I really hope to see you again, and I'm also going to be on YouTube and TikTok. I've got a Facebook and a Twitter, so please go ahead and drop a follow if you like. I really appreciate it. And again, I've got a lot of content planned, and I'll go over some hunting and looping. I'm not the best at those, but it's definitely something that I'm going to try and do. Okay, let's go see if we can confirm dots here real quick. We're going to just take a look. It's possible now that this phantom has moved into... it's possible that the phantom's moved into another room now, but I'm going to really hope that we can see dots. I just really want to confirm dots real quick, and then we're gonna head on out, and we'll hop into a no sprint game, and we'll just kind of hang out a bit. Everybody stare at the screen. Okay, you're gonna be difficult. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and select Phantom. Also, really important tip, especially if you're getting flustered a little bit like I am. Make sure that you've selected the ghost. There is nothing worse than deciding that you've found the ghost. You're gonna head on out. Again, I'm 90% certain this is a phantom, but if I forgot to select phantom like this, you know what, Imagobin? Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, I really do want to confirm the dots for you. The other thing is that the ghost might have... Oh, you know what? And it is a UV ghost, so let's go look at footprints too. All right, we'll go back on in there. And again, we're also generally safe because we've still got our crucifixes. It hasn't burned it. Let's go ahead and... put them there. This is a little bit of a difficult room for dots. I'm kind of hoping that it will extend into the hallway. And while we're... Yeah, there we go. In fact, let's take a look at our thermo. It is kind of warm here. I'm not surprised to learn if it has moved rooms, which I am playing on professional, so it can do. Yeah, okay. Okay, I see your game, friend. Let's try this. And that is another really great reason why using the thermo is a really good way to kind of determine where the ghost is. Dots can be really tricky in the hallway too. And then let's go ahead and grab my salt and my UV. Now here's a really good way, if you've got yourself a UV, you want to kind of plop it down right there, plop. And we're going to put our salt down. And the reason I've done this is because the UV, again, has really ambient light. Are you in my bathroom now? Get out of the bathroom. What you doing in here, weirdo? It may have moved to the bathroom. There we go. Because I've got ambient light here, I can see this footprint really easily. And I can go ahead and take a picture of it. And I can kind of check. And again, this now counts as UV evidence. So if you saw this footprint, you would know that you're dealing with UV. Alright, I think... If it is in the bathroom, this could be actually really good for us because it's going to be... it's a really small room, so as long as you can get it in a good spot, it's really... Yeah, come on. Come on, buddy, show us dots. Show us dots. This is also a really good demonstration of um, dots is a very tricky evidence to get. I actually usually prefer the tier 2 just because I have a lot more control over where it is pointing. But because dots is tricky to get and because it is an active evidence, oftentimes it's an easy one to miss. If I had not had that really early ghost event where I could determine it was a phantom, I could spend a long time here trying to find out what this ghost is, and I'd have to start eliminating other evidences. Yeah. I think this ghost is done cooperating. He's done. He does not want to play anymore. So we're gonna go ahead. We did have a dots ghost on our first ghost, which was really good. I'm really glad we got to see that. I'm gonna clip that and put that on TikTok and YouTube. So it's really we at least had a good demonstration on there. I'm gonna hit Phantom again. I'm 90% certain Phantom, and I'm just gonna cry if it's not. And there you have it. It is indeed a phantom. And again, that is a great way. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about this game. I could have gotten it through the evidence there, but because there are little tips and tricks to every ghost, especially. Thank you, Lady Catherine. Thank you. Um, I I definitely hope work is going good. I appreciate you tuning in on your breaks there. Yeah, if excuse me. This is a really great example of just why I love Phasmo so much. I could have gotten it through getting all the evidence, but being able to just kind of know little tips and tricks, being able to determine it was a phantom off of that, I really love being able to just really utilize my knowledge. All right, let's see. We've got some time. Uh, I'm going to go ahead, though. I'm going to drop it on my custom difficulty. Again, thank you all. Um, Let me make sure I've got something set correctly. Should have probably done this on stream, but again, technical difficulties. I did turn something on last night that I'm going to turn back off. There we go. Okay. So this is my custom difficulty here. Custom difficulties are a really good way to kind of customize exactly how you want to play the game. This one is a 505 reward, which means it's better than Nightmare, but it's got a lot of the more what can be very frustrating ghost mechanics turned off. It's great for grinding. It's maybe not the greatest for streaming. I just want to kind of go through it though. And then when I'm playing streaming, I'll probably do more of the other difficulties that aren't so safe. But again, if you're a beginner, this is a great way to do it. This is what I lovingly call the please don't hunt me difficulty, because if it hunts you, you will likely die. But again, if you're monitoring your sanity, if you're using efficient movement, you're going to get through it without it hunting. You've only got like a 1 in 21 chance of it being a demon. And even if it is a demon, you still have a very low chance of it actually hunting unexpectedly. All right. So you do have a starting sanity of 100 to keep yourself safe. I have sanity pills set at 20, just because it's a good way to kind of bump up the thing. If you wanted to do like that, that really doesn't change a whole lot. You could even go up to there. Let's go ahead and leave it on that, so it's 5 times. You want to keep your sanity drain the same amount, but you want to turn sprinting off. And sprinting off really bumps up your difficulty like a crazy amount. If I had also less evidences, this amount would jump up to, I think, like 7 or 8 times almost. So we're going to turn off sprinting. It does make for a little bit of a slower gameplay, but it also is a really immersive, kind of more detective experience. When it comes to the ghost, you want to turn off, you want to keep it at the normal speed. One, because you do have a chance of surviving if it hunts, but it's a low chance. But you also, if you do manage to end up in a hunt and you do survive, ghost speed is a great way, if you know tips and tricks about ghosts, to determine a ghost through a hunt. In fact, hunt through hunts is one of the better ways, but it is a high skill way to do it. And so if you're not ready for that, leaving it at 100% ghost speed is a good idea, just so that you're not being hunted and killed super quick. You can leave roaming on. Changing the ghost room, having it set to none means that like that phantom moving away from us all that time won't happen. Um, you can turn up your interaction amounts. It is going to drop your multiplier pretty quickly. I usually leave these. And then I turn up all the nasty things on hunts because, again, my goal is to not get hunted. I know that probably makes for a little bit more of a boring stream. I promise you I will get hunted in later content. So setting the grace period to 0 does mean that if the ghost hunts, it can kill you as soon as it appears. But again, if you're hunted at this point, you'll likely die anyway. It happens. The amount of money you're going to be getting from all the other times you don't die will more than make up for it. Setting the duration to high as well. We want to leave it on 3 evidence for now. And then I also turned down the fingerprint duration just a little bit because I find that 2 minutes is more than you need. 90 seconds is usually good enough. And then in the contract, I often set things like hiding places to none, the doors starting open to high. I want to keep my sanity monitor on because you need it to make sure that you're being safe. But you can turn off the activity monitor because it's just not a reliable way to do it, and it gives you a lot more boost just to not have it on. Having the fuse box start on saves you a lot of time, especially when you don't have sprint on. It saves you a lot of time. You don't have to go turn the fuse box on. The rooms immediately start warming up. And again, because you've turned off your sprint, that's why you can have all these really nice quality of life settings while still having an amazing 5 times multiplier. And since we made a change, we do want to save that just in case. Yep. Save button. There we are. All right. Now let's go ahead and we'll load back into Tanglewood just because it is one of my favorite maps. I know every streamer says that, but there is just something really fun about Tanglewood. It's the original location. It's a good size, especially if you're playing by yourself. On another stream, I want to go through all the maps. But as a beginner, there is no shame in loading into the same map over and over and really learning the map. Because the cursed items, they all stay in the same place. The tips and tricks of the house, where the hiding spaces, those all stay the same. So learning that map and getting it down is a really great way to start getting up in the ranks and getting some of those cooler items like you've seen me play with. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So I'm going to grab the key, going to do that. Thank you. I am always happy to make work less boring. Thank you, Hemoglobin. I really appreciate that too. Yes, I know this is a little bit of a slow party, but I can't wait to hit that prestige button. Again, if you are new to Phasmophobia, when you prestige, you're going to lose all your items, you're going to lose all your money, but you are going to start unlocking new badges. So it's really just it's a fun way to kind of challenge yourself to go back in time to do the beginning experience again. My tier 3 items are definitely making all of this a lot easier on us. And then you also, like I said, you unlock new badges, which is really, really fun. If you like your badges, there are some great ones. When you start getting up into the prestige 10s, they start doing animated badges, which are really, really cool. I have not gotten there, obviously. I'm also really excited to reset with everybody here because I'm excited for you all to be with me on the journey as I go back up through the beginner stuff into the high stuff again, and we can celebrate getting the tier 2 head cam and the tier 3 head cam and the tier 3 crosses, which do really cool things. All right, let's grab my starter gear. All right. Now, as you can see, I don't have sprint. I'm going to be a little bit slower as I move, but again, if I can get this ghost, especially if I can get this ghost quickly... Rude. No, none of that. I'm not even in the house yet. What is wrong with you? Alright. If I can get this ghost really quickly, we can get into that tier 3. That tier reset. Okay, now I did hear something really quickly. Again, my breaker is actually on, so I can start managing my sanity by turning on lights. Now, unfortunately, there we go. Yeah, so we've definitely got something thrown around here. I'm not sure where it is. More than likely, my ghost is here. The tier, because we're so quick into the match, this thermo is actually going to take a little bit before you can really utilize it. So we're going to go ahead and throw it down. And again, I'm pretty sure he's somewhere around here, so I'm going to go get my second batch of things. Oh, there is a mirror there. So when I am done, I'm going to come back and we're going to take a picture of that. Nope, we're going to go back. I know, I completely just wasted time walking out. The mirror is actually a really powerful tool. It's one of the best items in my opinion. You can pick it up with E, and then if you right-click it, it's going to show you the ghost room. There's some misconceptions that it shows you where the ghost is. That is not the case. It shows you the ghost room. The downside to using the mirror is it's going to drain my sanity by 20%. But it's something I'm willing to pay for really quick information, and also I just kind of want to do it on stream with you guys. However, I am gonna turn this light on. I'm gonna do it here so that I can look at it and then walk out the door real quickly just in case it's an early hunting ghost. And as you can see, we are in the kitchen, so. Now, the mirror, when you use the mirror, it drains your sanity rapidly. However, it is always 20%, no matter how much you do. Even if you do it for a split second, it's going to be at least 20%. And then every second beyond that, it gets it gets higher and higher. So you want to use the mirror very sparingly. As you can see over here, I'm about 20%. I could take sanity. Oh, I'm about 75. Okay, yeah, I'm about 20%. I could take sanity, but again, unless I'm dealing with a demon, I'm not in hunt range. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab that and that. Sorry, I just made a misstep there. I am not in hunt range for any ghost. I am only in danger if it is a demon, if the demon uses its special ability to hunt early. But in terms of every other ghost, I am relatively safe. So I'm not actually going to use the sanity pill because I'm feeling confident. We'll see if that pays off. We are going to still bring crucifixes in, just in case. There we are, and there we are. And then, because the mirror showed us the kitchen... Oh, we're going to grab a UV here in a second. Because the mirror showed us the kitchen, I'm going to put stuff in the kitchen. Oftentimes, when it's these kind of rooms, it's a little hard to tell. By the way, I'm looking at this. I'm seeing only tier 2, or EMF 2. Sometimes when it's in the kitchen, it can be very difficult to tell. It could be the kitchen, it could be the dining room. Because I use the mirror, I know exactly that it's the kitchen, so I'm going to set my stuff up in the kitchen. And because of my settings, I know the ghost cannot change its favorite room, so I don't need to worry about it doing that. Again, I'm going to grab my dots, my camera, my UV as my third trip into the house. And we're going to look for ghost orbs. We're going to look for UV on those 2 doors that it touched. And then we're also going to, of course, throw those dots down. So let's go ahead, pop that down. And look at that. We got UV right there. We're going to take pictures. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, okay. So look at this handprint. This is a very special handprint. It has 6 fingers on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an extra one here. 6-fingered handprints. It's another one of those really cool, unique abilities. Oh man, I cannot wait to clip this. It is one of these really cool, unique abilities that only a specific ghost can do, and that is an Obake or a Mimic. Mimic can do every ghost ability, so right now, I could leave, I could guess Obake. I am more than likely correct. Hey, don't do that. No, go away, go away. This is an airball. It's going to try and hit me and drain my sanity. Ah, it hit me. Darn it. Uh, rude. Okay. So I am more than likely dealing with an Obake. In fact, because right now, all I care about is getting the level. Oh, okay. I care about getting the level and also... He is touching things like crazy. Okay. All I care about right now is getting the level. I am actually going to go look for... I'm going to go look for ghost orbs. We've had some really great ghosts tonight, and if you are enjoying watching me, by all means, pick up a copy of Phasmo. It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun with friends. It can be very immersive. It has a lot to learn in it. There's a lot of tips and tricks. And they're just really great developers, too. So really, if you are enjoying, I encourage you, go support them. They're an indie game developer, and they're really wonderful. Why is my camera? I think we might... Oh, there we go. And look at that. Okay, we got ourselves a ghost orb. So, we've got ourselves UV. We've got a ghost orb. Mimic is Spirit Box. Okay. So, because we've got a ghost orb, by the way, it could be an Obake right here with the ghost orb and the UV. Because we got ourselves a ghost orb, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for a Spirit Box. Because if I get Spirit Box, it cannot be an Obake, and it's a Mimic, and I don't want to be bamboozled. But again, I'm betting it's an Obake, and I'm really happy we got that ghost. I love it. Okay. Firelight, chasing. Since I've got since I've got hands-free, and I've got a Firelight objective, I'm also going to do that. Again, if you've got quick, easy objectives you can do, I would highly encourage you to take a little extra time to do them. They are multiplied. Not only are they multiplied in your investigation bonus if you get it right, they're then multiplied by your difficulty. So you can walk away with a lot of money and a lot of XP just by doing a really quick, simple task. What was my sanity? I was so excited about the Obake. We do want to still be safe, so we're going to go ahead and double check our sanity because we've been ghost evented several times now. This is a danger zone, so I'm right here in 54. If it ghost events me again, I'm going to drop down to 45. If I'm in the dark too long, I'm going to drop down. I'm really glad I went and checked my sanity, and we're going to go ahead and use that. Funnily enough, as you can hear the heartbeat going, the sanity pills, the tier 3 sanity pills, because again, what they do is they turn off your sprint drain. If you don't have sprint, these will not give you sprint, but they'll still do the heart sound effect, which is really fun. Again, I'm super glad I went and checked that. I was really excited about the Obake. For those who have played Phasmo before, like, what is your favorite ghost? And I'm also going to check what is the other evidence I want to see for Obake. I think it's EMF. Okay. So I'm going to move around. Not shade, followed by, I'm going to say, there it goes. Look at that. Now you are crazy. Look at that right there. So here I've got EMF 5. I can go ahead and I can say Obake. It can't be a Mimic at this point, because Mimics, again, and I've seen this trick a lot of people, Mimics show ghost orbs, but they don't actually have ghost orb as an evidence. So What you would want to see for a Mimic would be Spirit Box and Freezing Temperatures, and then Ghost Orb. But if you click Ghost Orb, it actually removes the Mimic as an option, because while it shows Ghost Orbs, it doesn't actually have it as an evidence, which is a little confusing, but also like a great way to, it trips people up sometimes, so it's a good kind of trick to know. But we, however, have Ghost Orbs, EMF, and Ultraviolet. We are dealing with an Obake. It has blown out my candle, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get out of here. Yes, not Shade. I will have to agree. Shades, I'm not a big fan of them. While they are a really safe ghost, they also don't do a lot of interactions. I find them very boring. However, Hemoglobin, I totally understand. If you do not want to be jump scared, a Shade is a very fun ghost for that. And sometimes just the absence of evidence or interaction can be kind of interesting too. Like when you've got a ghost, you're like, I can't really tell what it is. It's so quiet. I really feel like a Shade, and then you're right. I know that's a great feeling. Right now, I'm just going to disagree with you. I don't like demons. Demons upset me. Alright, let's say Obake and get out of here. I promise on other other days when I'm streaming, I'm gonna do. Oh, and I got an achievement. On other days when I'm streaming, I will definitely do some more spicy runs. Right now, I want to make sure that I get us to that 100 so I can reset for you all. Thank you again for tuning in. Hemoglobin Banshees are fun. I actually had a really great moment. I was playing with other people. We were looking at what kind of ghost it was, and it started hunting. I'm going to be honest, I was a little relieved because I knew somebody else was closer to the ghost. So I'm like, I'm going to be fine. It walked right past them and continued on towards me. And there was this moment where I'm like, oh, that's amazing. It's a banshee. Followed very shortly by, oh no, it's a banshee. And then I died. And look at that, we're so close. I think one more good game and we are going to go. We are going to go right into our reset here. Let's go ahead and play on Willow Street. I don't want to bore you too much with Tanglewood. Willow Street is another great house if you are just starting out. It's relatively small like Tanglewood. It does have a slightly terrifying basement. And also, willows are my favorite. Mm. I would have to say that the Dio is probably my favorite ghost. It can be really upsetting when you're not expecting it. It hunts and it kind of finds you in the hiding place and it kills you. However, it is a great ghost to practice looping on. It's really fun when you find a Dio. It's one of the few times that I immediately go, I need a hunt. I gotta see this. And if we do get a Dio, I think it's safe to do it on this difficulty. I will probably get a hunt, and we'll just have some fun with it. Alright, got my starting gear. Gonna check. Ghost event EMF. Wonderful. Alright. Did I bring a head cam? Yeah, head cam. Alright, in we go. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a key. And we're going to check for tarot cards. Alright, I know this is probably going to upset some people, but I am actually not going to pull from the tarot deck. Just because I'm running a little bit low on time and I really want to hit that reset with you. Tarot deck can definitely be very fun. It is, I think, in my opinion, it's not one of the best items, only in that because it is so random, I do definitely like to have a little bit more control in my game. So like if I want the ghost to hunt, I'm going to make it hunt, and you can't quite get that with tarot cards. However, when you are just having fun, when you're relaxing, oh, there's a bone here. Again, great reason to bring your camera in early. And I think, yeah, we're looking at either the dining room or the kitchen area. And we're going to go ahead, just pop here real quick. Yep, it's starting to go up. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and throw this down. We're going to go get my safety gear. But again, if you're having fun, especially with friends that are into it, the tarot cards can just be really fun. One of the things that it will just take some experience is knowing what rooms are what. There are some rooms like the basement here that's just a crazy long room. When you go down into the basement, everything but the two small rooms is considered the basement room, so it can be a really, really big room. I'm not actually sure if the kitchen and the dining room in this house are considered a different room. I don't think they are because they share a light source. Why did I grab that? I'm not ready for that yet. Here we are. We're going to grab this. We're going to grab this. And my book. And we're going to go on in here. I just got something. I might be having some issues with notifications, so if I do not see your follow or anything like that, I do apologize. If you are following me, I really appreciate it. I am definitely having a lot of fun for my first stream. I really hope everyone else is, and I'm really excited to just keep doing this more and really growing with everybody and getting that reset here. Alright, and now let me just check that real quick. No EMF. We'll see if this ghost gets a little more spicy. Right now, they're a little quiet. Alright, we are moving ourselves back in. We got our camera now. And I think we're going to pop it right about there. We're going to set our dots. This is a big room for dots. And then we're going to kind of go around. I haven't heard any door touches. In fact, we're going to go ahead and close these doors. One of the really good reasons to close doors is just that they don't open by themselves. The ghost has to open them. So if you have closed doors, you walk back in and you see that a door has opened, you know that your ghost has interacted with it. We'll check for freezing. Oh, did you see that? Look at that. We do have a dots ghost. Ah, perfect. Let's see if we can get ourselves a shot of the dots. We're going to go ahead and just mark dots here real quick. And again, this is relatively new. You can now take pictures of the dots, and they count as ghost photos. Let's see if we can get... You want to do dots for me, friend? Do the dots. Do the dots. Okay. So unfortunately, they don't seem to want to cooperate, which is okay. We will try and once we get there. Oh, I want to go back this way. You are correct, hemoglobin. I see you. You got some knowledge there. Yes. So hemoglobin pointed out here. Thank you. Also, if you have tips and stuff, just shout them out. I want to hear them as well. So Hemoglobin just pointed out that it's not a Goryo. Again, each of these ghosts have really cool, unique, individual things. Goryos are they're very shy ghosts. They do have dots, but they don't show you dots if you're in the same room, and they don't show you dots with your naked eye. You have to use a video camera to see them. So if you are ever looking around and you actually see the Goryo without your excuse me, you see the ghost without your video camera, you know you're not dealing with a Goryo. And again, it's just a great way to go ahead and mark something off real quick. If you are in the truck, though, and you're looking for Goryo dots, but your what is going on over there? I think my screensaver's having a little... My screensaver's possessed. It's in the truck. Let's leave. Let's leave. I'm kidding. It cannot be in the truck, by the way. So yeah, also, Goryos will not show you dots if someone is in the room, even if you're in the truck. So just really communicate with your friends. If they're doing an investigation and you're trying to look for Goryo dots, just let them know so that they're not in the room, because even on camera, Goryos, they just will not show their dots if there's somebody with them. They're very shy when it comes to that. We're going to go ahead and grab our spirit box. We're going to grab our salt, and we're going to check here to see if Paramic is an option. It's not. Since Paramic is not an option and Detect is not an option, we're going to leave those. Otherwise, what I would normally do at this point is I'd grab one salt, and I would grab those 2 items. Oh, there he is. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot to look for dots or for ghost orbs while we were in the truck. I'm just so excited to talk about Goryos. We'll go ahead and throw these down. And I don't want to throw the second salt yet, just because I'm not ready to take pictures. But you could throw down the second set of salt if you wanted right now. And I'm going to turn off my head cam again, just because it makes it really hard to see. Yep, if you see that, that's a ghost orb in the middle of it. By the way, if you left-click the dots, you can turn them off temporarily, because I really want to show this. Here, ghosty orb. Come here. I saw you. Just another great... There it is, see? There we are. Little floating guy. Okay. So we got our ghost orbs. We got ourselves dots. We're going to turn this light back on because we do not need to be in the dark anymore. Oh, wait. We do. We want our spirit box. Where do we set it? Come here. We are going to turn these lights back off, actually. It did just step in this salt here, and I'm not seeing footprints. Now, I would not be ready to rule out UV yet, and that just has to do with the fact that sometimes footprints can be a little hard to see. Sometimes the ghost just doesn't do them, but if that next salt were to hit and I don't see any footprints, I would probably rule out UV at that point. Yeah, I don't think we're dealing with UV. And we're going to go ahead and... Oh, I was saying earlier, the reason I use the text-to-speech, I know it's not necessarily as fun. One, I want to be able to keep talking to you. I don't want to interrupt to talk to the spirit box. The other thing is that sometimes... Yep, we're going to call that good. Sometimes the... Oh, it is touching this door like crazy. Sometimes the voice recognition can't be the... it's not the best in the world, so sometimes it just doesn't hear you, and I like to be really efficient. So one, I want to keep talking to all of you, and two, I want to make sure that I'm actually it's hearing me, and then I can rule out that the spirit box is not working. So this is a perfect example. Lady Catherine mentioned it earlier. See how I have 5 bars? So that's an EMF 5, and then under there was a number that said like 1.2. That's just the distance and direction, and that's a tier 3 EMF thing. That is also our third evidence, meaning we're dealing with a Raiju. We're going to go ahead and picture. I don't think we found the bone. We did find the bone. Okay. Another good reason to have your camera with you to take the bone picture. Remember whether or not you actually did it. You can also click overview, see if there's anything else I can do. I don't have control over whether or not I see a ghost event unless there's an item that can make me do it. And I really don't want to be chased because I don't have hiding spots and I don't have sprint. However, because I've got a tier 5 multiplier, I don't really need them. I'm good to go. Raiju are very fun ghosts, by the way. They are quicker when your electronics are around, and they can hunt at 65 when electronics are present. So right now, again, I'm safe. I'm at 85. I should be fine. But if I were to have my sanity drop unexpectedly, they could hunt without me expecting it. If you are worried about the Raiju being fast, you can turn off electronics around it. Definitely, if you have your flashlight on, which is just also something you generally don't want to have on when the ghost is hunting. But if you have your flashlight on, it's definitely going to be a lot faster as it comes after you. But again, if you know what you're dealing with, you can kind of prepare for that. You can turn off electronics. Let's go ahead. We're going to click the Raiju. And I think we've done enough. This should be our last game before my reset. Here we go.
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs.
And as we can see, it was a Raiju. I'm going to go on through. And was that enough? Oh, I feel like we're going to be 100 short. We're going to cross our fingers. We are short. Sad. If I had stuck around to get a ghost event, that might have done it. If I had been able to chase it away, that might have done it. However, again, for the amount of effort, excuse me, for how safe we were, and especially if you are a starting player, this is a lot of XP for being safe, being able to learn, know about the ghost, and really get to feel Phasmo. Looks like we're going to play another game, though. So I only need about 300. Is there any particular game we want to do? Let's go ahead and I'm gonna drop down to I'm gonna go to professional. And the reason I'm gonna do this is I want to have sprint back. I want to have fun. If I get a ghost, I might even have it hunt. We'll see. And for this, I think for my 100th level, I gotta do Tanglewood. Tanglewood has gotta be it. Whew. Alright. I absolutely want to get this prestige, though. I took a bunch of risky moves. I hope I was really entertaining. I am going to do one more. I'm going to have to be a little bit quick about it. But I will go ahead and do one more here, and then I'm going to go meet my significant other for lunch. But thank you again for everyone who popped on into the stream, all my viewers. I hope that I was entertaining. I really hope. No, I'm going to prestige right now. I'm going to go back in there. Again, I did some really risky plays, and sometimes they just don't pan out. That is a game that I probably could have salvaged, but I wanted to make sure that I got it. So I'm going to go into a different game. I will definitely say that I do have a lot of technical knowledge about this game. I am still working on some of the more physical aspects of the game, and so I'm just not that great with hunts. I generally tend to avoid them, but it is something that I'm definitely working at getting better at. And here, oh, it's good to know I've got a hiding spot here just in case I don't have a Ouija board and I don't have a breaker here. I'm also not seeing the bone. However, with it being so dark, it can sometimes be really hard to see the bone. I really want to get that breaker on instead. And again, if you have spent time on a house, if you get to know it a lot better. Oh, hey, look, a bone. If you've spent time in a house, if you get to know it a lot better, you'll definitely know where these items are. As you can see, I ran straight to the breaker, checked both locations. It was really quick and easy. Some of the bigger maps have different breakers, but they're, again, while they are randomized, they are always the same randomized spots. Every map has 2 to 3 locations it could be. Now, the thermo is going to take a little bit because we are on professional. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find our cursed object and just kind of keep an eye on my thermo. I do have a lot of door touching going on. In fact, this might be a hallway ghost. Hallway ghosts are my favorite in terms of... Oh, or maybe here. I am not a ghost currently, but I definitely could end up being one, especially when you take risky moves. I'm gonna actually go look up and get a better feel for the Ouija board because that was a massive sanity drain. I don't remember it being that high. I was not expecting it to drop me into such quick hunt range. I was expecting a 40%. So even I am learning new things about, well, of course, I am also learning new things about the game. All right, I'm pretty confident it is actually here. I was holding that tier 1 thermo, trying to see if I could get it to go freezing while I was chatting for a second. Okay, I want one of these. As you can tell, I'm rushing. I'm starting to lose my method. Um, and when you lose your method, sometimes you get games like last game, which was super spicy. I kind of wish I had gotten it. I'm being a little bad, and I will have to be buying an apology cake or something. That was dots. Perfect. I am fairly certain that I just saw dots there. However, it was a little hard to see. It could have been just off of my breath, but that's going to key me in to sort of keep an eye on for dots, because I'm fairly certain I just saw some. We are going to go ahead and grab more stuff. Yeah, hemoglobin. I'm pretty sure it was dots as well. I really don't want to play another game. I am already running late, but I'm just having so much fun, and I'm really enjoying my time on the first stream. And thank you all for making that happen. It's been really fun, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Yeah, I just keep catching these glimpses that really look like dots to me. Oh, good. It just touched this. Okay. So I've got 2 pieces of evidence here. I've got the EMF. Yes, it is. It is very exciting, but I will definitely be yes. So I did get an EMF there, and I also got a door touch without fingerprints. I'm going to rule out fingerprints. Technically, it could be an obake, which does have a chance of not leaving fingerprints. But if I see fingerprints later, I'm going to know that it is definitely a Nobake. Let's go ahead and we're going to turn that off. We're going to go back to the truck and we're going to look for Ghost Orb. And when I come back, I'll have my spirit box with me, and the lights will already be off. So I'll save myself just a little bit of time. There's a Ghost Orb there. Another reason that I actually tend to prefer the tier 2 dots is just that these dots are very massive. Sometimes it can be really hard to see a ghost orb with... Nope, hey, go back. I've lost my cursor, or my thing is being very silly. What are you doing? The dots are just very massive. It's great when it catches a lot of stuff, but it can also make it very hard to see those ghost orbs. Okay, let's do Spirit Box. I'm going to laugh if it is indeed another Raiju. That would be absolutely... I would just love that. I would love it if I got a chance to redeem myself on that Raiju. Alright, we're going to put that in there. There we go. That is definitely dots. And then we'll turn off the dots and just reconfirm that ghost orb there. And the ghost is currently doing a singing ghost event. I'm not sure if you can hear that. But I'm fairly certain I saw a ghost orb in here. It is professional difficulty, though, so what could have happened is if it moved. And the fact that it did a singing ghost event out here is very interesting to me. Here, ghost orb. Okay. We're going to grab the thermometer. And, yep, it should still be in here. What do you think, chat? Did I just imagine a ghost orb, or am I... Oh, nope, there it is. There you are. All right. Perfect. That was a difficult to find ghost orb, wasn't it? So there we have. So the mimic evidence is freezing temp, spirit box, and I believe UV. Yeah. So it cannot be a mimic, but it's always a good thing whenever you see a ghost orb to just double check. You do not want to get mimicked. It is not fun. But we have EMF, we have dots, we have a ghost orb. This should be a Raiju, and we should be good to go. I'm going to have 100 investigation, excuse me, I'm going to have 130 investigation bonus. I'm going to have 130 for finding the ghost. There we are. Redemption! I found it. Perfect. There we are. And here we go.
Fancy moving up in the world? A prestige is now available.
Oh, that is music to my ears. There we go. Thank you all for sticking with me. I'm sorry for that botched game. I'm going to guess that's probably a rite of passage on these kinds of videos as well. I am going to be a little sad because all of my stuff here, all of this money, it's about to go bye-bye. But the next time I stream, you're going to get to see me start out fresh. hopefully will be fresh. We might have a couple levels, but you'll get to see me start with my new stuff. We'll go through it in the beginning experience for everyone. Beginnings can be rough, especially for beginners, because a lot of those items are just not very good. But again, if you follow tips, strategies, tricks, there's a lot of ways to really get up in the levels and get into those really cool items. Um, I feel like the developers have set some of the requirements a little high because there are so many cool items, and it's really uh, sometimes people get discouraged before they reach them. But again, if you follow me, watch me, I want to come in with tips and tricks. I do have a lot of technical knowledge about the game. I'm getting a lot better at the more physical stuff like looping. So I would love to see you all again. Let's go ahead and hit that button. I believe I do have to back out though.
Welcome back.
There it
I've got
is.
some jobs for you.
Ah, are we ready, folks? Oh, and it's pink. I love pink. Oh, I need it. Oh, oh, and thank you. Thank you so much for the follow. You picked a perfect time to follow at this time. I'm going to hit the button right now. Thank you. Thank you. That was Big Scary Lion. Thank you for coming on in, Big Scary Lion. I'm gonna hit this button and we're gonna say bye to my stuff, and then I'm gonna sign off here. I do have a lot of amazing content creators also on my home of my Twitch. So if I'm offline, oh, actually, let me see if I've got anyone to raid. But let's hit this button first. Button. Yes.
Well done. Now get investigating, investigator.
There we are. We're now tier 2. We've got ourselves a shiny new pink badge. Um, I have absolutely no stuff. Thank you, Retina. Thank you. Uh, it does. That badge looks really cool. I can't wait till the next prestige. There are some things that you can do to level up prestige really fast, but I don't want to do them. I'm not great at them, and I think they're a little. They're definitely great for getting a lot of levels, but I just don't find them very fun to watch. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and see if I've got someone else to raid real quick. Please follow if you haven't followed. If you enjoyed my content, check out my YouTube and my TikTok. Right now, there's not a lot on them, but there's about to be. I'm going to edit through this video, and I've got some other things that I'm about to upload. Let's see if I know how to raid. Who is online? Unfortunately, some of my favorites are not currently on. So I'm just going to go ahead and end stream here. But there are so many amazing content creators. If you hit the home on my Twitch, they're lined up. They stream all the time. They do a lot of Phasmo as well. Thank you, Lady Catherine. Thank you, Retina. Thank you, Hemoglobin. Thank you, MT Grave. Thank you, Big Scary Lion. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I will see you all next time. Bye bye.